Hello. This is the chap who normally comes on at the start of these podcasts, this time affecting a simply dreadful British accent, for if I don't miss my guess, you're listening to this as part of The Rack, the Icebox Radio Theatre's new podcast of fantasy and science fiction. And nothing says fantasy quite so much as an American actor attempting to sound like something he's not. Now, we love all of our listeners, of course, but we especially love those who have stepped through the velvet ropes to become a listening supporter. Castles and spaceships are quite inexpensive to render here in the world of audio, but petrol money for actors as well as new microphones and equipment are somewhat less so. So we continue to depend on you, the wonderful listener, to help us continue to bring these stories to the world. Simply go to our website, that's iceboxradio.org, and look for the word support across the top of the page there. On that page, you can learn all about our Patreon, you can learn about our membership program, or even just how to drop a $5 in the post. We're not picky. We just appreciate whatever kind attention you and your checkbook may be able to offer us. And now, since brevity be the soul of wit, I yield for this evening's presentation. You are driving in a dark forest, the pine boughs heavy with snow. At the end of a long dirt track road, you arrive at your destination. It's a small, weather-beaten motel called Toujours Gelée. It's not much to look at, really. Just a single weather-beaten shack surrounded by a half-dozen equally run-down cabins. Out back, there's a dingy fishing dock right next to the spaceport. And a few picnic tables for cleaning fish conveniently placed right next to the time portal. So it's easy to dispose of the chum. Come up to the office now. Let the bear in the tuxedo take your bags. Ask the time-traveling Viking at the concierge desk if you have any questions, and then step up to the main desk to meet the owner, Old Pierre.
Hello, and welcome to Toujours Gelée Motel. Looking for something to do? We have all kinds of tourist information right over here. I invite you to select a brochure from The Rack.
Good evening. We interrupt the extremely loud noises you have been listening to bring you culture. This is the Icebox Radio Theatre, and we're here to present a play written by Mr. Oscar Wylde, which is entitled The Canterville Ghost. It is splendid, it is hilarious, and it is only half an hour, so please stay tuned. The audio festoonery begins right after these messages.
What's the Icebox Radio Theater?
A place to be creative, to make a difference, and to bring the Northland stories to the world. The IBRT is a new performing arts group based in International Falls and dedicated to telling the Northland stories through the medium of radio. If you'd like to get to know us better, we invite you to visit our website at www.icebox.storiesonmp3.com. There you'll find information on radio drama, the IBRT's mission here in the Northland, and the people who make it happen. You'll also find CDs of our previous shows and information about future ones. So whether you're a radio fan or a fledgling actor, a faithful listener or a writer with a story to tell, we want to hear from you. Again, that's the Icebox Radio Theater at www.icebox.storiesonmp3.com.
When Mr. Hiram B. Otis, the American minister to England, bought Canterville Chase, everyone told him he was doing a very foolish thing, as there was no doubt the place was indeed haunted. Indeed, Lord Canterville himself had felt it his duty to mention the fact to Mr. Otis when they came to discuss terms.
As I told you, Mr. Otis, we have not lived in the place in quite some years.
Yes, I've been wondering about that, Lord Canterville. From my inspection of Canterville Chase, I'd say it's in remarkably beautiful condition, and in good repair, too.
Oh, indeed, it is all you say and more, too. Make no mistake, you're getting a fine bargain. You see, we have not cared to live in the place since my grand-aunt, the Dowager Duchess of Bolton, was frightened into a fit.
A fit, you say?
Yes, a fit, and a bad one at that. I feel I should tell you this before you sign the papers.
I don't quite see the connection, my lord.
It happened some years ago. My grandaunt was dressing for dinner. Suddenly she was frozen to the spot. 2 skeleton hands were placed on her shoulders.
Oh, come now. Surely you don't expect me to believe that.
It's the truth. The ghost has been seen by several living members of my family. Launder Canterville, for example, often got very little sleep because of the mysterious noises that came from the corridor and the library.
The library, eh? Nothing like an intellectual ghost, I say.
It's all well and good to joke about it, but you've probably never encountered a ghost.
I come from a country where we don't believe in ghosts.
Whether or not you believe it, it is your own concern, Mr. Otis. But it does exist. It has been well known for over 3 centuries, and one peculiar thing, it generally makes its appearance just before the death of any member of our family.
Well, for that matter, so does our family doctor. But there's no such thing as a ghost.
As I say, I feel it's only fair to warn you.
Thank you for your trouble, Lord Canterville, but it doesn't change my mind. I still want to buy Canterville Chase.
What of your family? Perhaps they may object?
I feel certain that the ghost won't bother them. They're a very energetic and hearty group of individuals. In fact, they can handle any situation. Now, if you have the papers ready, I'll sign them and then bring you our check.
If you don't mind a ghost in the house, it is all right. Only, you must remember, Mr. Otis, I warned you.
A few weeks later, Mr. Otis and his family trained from London to Ascot, the nearest railway station to Canterville Chase. The Otises were a rather formidable family of individuals. Mrs. Lucy Otis, for example, had a magnificent constitution and a wonderful amount of animal spirits. Virginia, the daughter, was 15, lithe and lovely, and with a fine freedom in her eyes. Then there were the twins, aged 12, and christened Washington and Jefferson in a rash moment of parental patriotism. The twins were a bustling law unto themselves. As they drove from the station to Canterville Chase, the Otises were in fine spirits. It was a lovely July evening. As they entered the avenue of the Chase, however, the skies suddenly became overcast. Before they reached the house, some big drops of rain had fallen, and they were greeted by Mrs. Umney, the aged housekeeper, who had remained on. She led them to the library where tea had been laid out.
This room affords a fine view of the east garden and the meadow. It was Lord Canterville's favourite place for spending a quiet hour.
Oh, very fine paneling, Mrs. Umney.
And all those wonderful books. Thousands of them.
Oh, this room's too dark, don't you think so, Jeff?
Kind of spooky, I'd say, Wash.
Over there by the fireplace, Mrs. Umney. I'm afraid something has been spilt on the floor.
Yes, madam. Blood has been spilt on that spot.
How horrid! I don't care for bloodstains in the library. It must be removed at once.
It is the blood of Lady Eleanor de Canterville, who was murdered on that very spot by her own husband, Sir Simon de Canterville, in 1575.
He wasn't very neat about it, I must say.
Sir Simon survived her 9 years and disappeared suddenly under very mysterious circumstances. His body has never been discovered, but his guilty spirit still haunts the Chase. That bloodstain cannot be removed.
A real ghost!
Nonsense! I mean about that stain. I have something right here in my bag that will clean it up in no time. Pinkerton's Champion Stain Remover and Paragon Detergent. Watch closely.
It can't be removed, Mrs. Otis.
You don't know my mother, Mrs. Umney. If she says it can be removed, it can.
A few brisk rubs, and off it comes. There you are, clean as a whistle.
Oh.
Miss Umney, she's fainted.
Oh, here, boys, give me a hand with her. Oh, what a monstrous climate. I guess the old country's so overcrowded they haven't enough decent weather for everybody. Now, I've always been of the opinion that emigration is the only thing for England.
Hiram, what can we do with a woman who faints?
I'll put it down on her time card as a coffee break. She won't faint after that.
She's coming too.
Oh.
Are you all right now, Mrs. Umney?
Yes, all right now. But let me warn you, trouble is coming to this house. I have seen it, things with my own eyes that would make anyone's hair stand on end. Many a night I have not closed my eyes for the awful things done here.
Mother, it's back again, the blood stain on the library floor.
Take the stain remover and wipe it off.
But every time Wash and I clean it off, the stain is there again the next morning.
Oh, nonsense.
But it's the truth.
Someone's playing a joke on us. Hiram, are you awake? That stain, I don't understand. It was there again this morning.
Not a very nice way to spoil the floor that way.
You don't suppose. Oh, but that's sheer nonsense. Hiram, listen. Sounds like chains are being dragged.
Oh, my. I was afraid of this.
Where are you going? What are you looking for?
You'll see. Follow me and be quiet.
Why, it's the Canterville ghost. Good evening.
My dear sir, I really must insist upon your oiling those chains. And I have brought for that purpose a small bottle of Tammany Rising Sun Lubricator. It is said to be completely efficacious upon one application. There are several testimonials to that effect on the wrapper from some of our most eminent native divines. I shall leave it here on the table. Should you require more, I shall be happy to supply you.
And now, good night. If you wish anything, knock.
There he is, Jeff. Quick.
Come on. Stop trying to duck, Mr. Ghost.
Sure, being hit with pillow shouldn't bother you.
Not much, that is.
Hold still.
Hey, come back.
Did you see that?
He disappeared right through the wainscoting. He's a pretty poor sport.
I can see the Canterville ghost hasn't any sense of humor.
Never in my brilliant and uninterrupted career as ghost have I been so grossly insulted. Sounds.
I pray thee, Sir Simon, to control thyself. If thee should ask me, I would say thou art guilty of exaggeration.
Milady Eleanor, I did not request your opinion, and furthermore, stop using that archaic English.
I merely said...
As my wife, you are not entitled to any opinion. When I murdered you, I thought I was rid of you once and for all. My allowing you to return temporarily from your grave is just a courtesy.
Concerning these Americans from the colonies.
The colonies no longer belong to England. They are part of the United States. As for these Otises who offer me lubricator for my chains and who throw pillows at my head, I shall be revenged upon them.
What disguise will you wear the next time?
Oh, perhaps that of Gaunt Gibeon, the bloodsucker of Bexley Moor.
Oh, may I accompany you?
A woman's place is in the home.
Can you see him?
Yes, right by the head of the stairs. What's he doing?
Trying to climb into that suit of armor. Let's get closer. Quiet as you can, Jeff.
Look, the suit of armor fell over on him.
Let's give it to him. Bee shooters, fire!
You got him. Now it's my turn.
What are you two doing out of bed?
Look, the ghost.
Mother, we're using our pea shooters on him.
Mr. Canterville Ghost?
Hiram, what are you doing with that revolver at the ghost's head?
In the name of the United States government, I command you to surrender.
I am afraid you are far from well. If you will wait, I will bring you some medicine for that indigestion. You will find it a most excellent remedy.
Oh, if only I could have climbed into that suit of armor before they put in an appearance.
That suit never did fit you.
Lady Eleanor, I wore that same suit of armor at the Kenilworth tournament 400 years ago. The Queen herself told me what an excellent fit it was. Oh, my shins. Rub some more balm on them.
Where did you get the idea to wear the armor?
Oh, from reading a silly poem about a skeleton in armor, written by some American chap named Longfellow. Ow, my foot, be careful.
What is your next step to be?
I'll need a rest after tonight's fiasco. Perhaps the next time I'll take you with me.
Oh, splendid, Sir Simon. But I haven't a thing to wear. Ah, I have it. I'll not wear any head.
Now, you're quite sure you know what to do.
I'm to go to Mr. and Mrs. Otis's room and gibber at them from the foot of the bed.
And then I will go to the twins' bed and sit on their chests. And at the same time I will stab myself 3 times in the throat.
And what of the girl?
Virginia? Why, she has never insulted me. A few hollow groans should do for her.
Are we off?
Not a sound out of you until the right moment. This must come as a grim surprise. Straight down the hallway.
Sir Simon, look! Straight ahead! Oh!
It's a ghost holding a sword.
We must leave. I'm frightened.
Oh, you're quite right. One moment. That ghost has no right to be here. He's trespassing.
Trespassing or not, I refuse to stand here.
You stay while I upbraid this intruder. Sir, whoever you may be, I demand you explain your presence. Well, sir, speak.
Don't go any closer, Sir Simon.
I shall. Speak, or I shall seize you, sir. Very well, come here. Why, it's...
Not a ghost.
Just a white curtain, a squash, and a sweeping brush.
That placard on its chest. On the curtain.
It says, "Ye ghost, ye only true and original spook. Beware of imitations, all others are counterfeits. Oh, tricked again by those horrible Americans, foiled, outwitted revenge. Oh, sweet revenge."
The Icebox Radio Theater will be right back after this.
I wish she'd show up.
Ah, Wash, let's go back to bed.
Wait just another few minutes.
All right. You got everything ready?
I think I hear something. Listen. Let him have it, Jeff.
Here goes. Don't like being hit with a pillow, huh?
Stand back, Jeff.
Oh!
Nothing like a nice cold pail of water to cool off a ghost.
I must say, Sir Simon, that you've mishandled this whole situation almost from the start.
Don't be so annoying. Oh, that water they tossed on me has given me a miserable cold. Oh, I wish you could go to Mrs. Otis's medicine chest and see if she has any cold pills.
I wouldn't dream of stirring from this cell. Getting chased by those awful Americans. I certainly am sorry I ever came back.
Then go back to your grave.
That is what I intend on doing. I've had enough of this mortal life to know when it is time to leave. And if you will heed my advice, I advise you to do the same.
I shall remain.
You will rue it, mark me.
Revenge. Revenge is what I seek. I shall drive them from this house once and for all.
Then have it and be done. I'm leaving, and happy I am at my decision. And where I come from, I shall be able once again to revert to a type of speech that is normal. Thee may continue alone. Dost thou understand me, me lord and late husband?
I dost. So...
It seems to be coming out all right, doesn't it, Mrs. Umney?
Yes. Just needs a bit of brisk rubbing, that's all, Mrs. Otis. Ah, there we are, clean as a whistle.
Be certain to check the floor again tomorrow morning.
I will do that, ma'am. Very first thing, rest assured.
I quite fail to understand this. During the past few days, the color of the blood on the floor seems to have changed. Virginia, will you put down that book and listen to me?
Yes, Mother.
Haven't you noticed? One day the stain was dull red, the next vermilion. Yesterday it was purple, and today it was a bright emerald green. I never did hear of emerald green blood. Did you, dear?
Oh, Mother, don't fool about it. I don't think it is humorous at all.
Well, I certainly do. Have you seen him lately?
The ghost?
Yes.
No.
Not a sound out of him. You know, my bottle of Rising Sun lubricator is missing. I have an idea Mr. Ghost has taken it and is using it to oil his chains. He might have left a note thanking me.
You're being ridiculous.
No, just to the point. By the way, we're going riding this afternoon. Do you want to join us?
No, I believe I'll stay here and read.
If you change your mind, let me know. I'll have the groom saddle your horse.
Oh.
You're the...
Yes, I'm the Canterville ghost. I hope you don't mind me sitting here in the library.
No, my brothers are going back to Eton tomorrow, so if you behave yourself, no one will annoy you.
It is absurd asking me to behave myself. I must rattle my chains and groan and walk about at night. It is my only reason for existing.
It is no reason at all for existing, and you know you have been very wicked murdering your wife.
Well, I quite admit it, but it was a family affair and concerned no one else.
It is wrong to kill anyone.
Oh, I hate the cheap severity of abstract ethics. My wife was very plain, never had my ruffs properly starched, and she was a bad cook.
That is not a proper way to talk.
Ah, yes, that's all over. However, I don't think it was very nice of her brothers to starve me to death, even though I did kill her.
Oh, Mr. Ghost, Sir Simon, are you hungry? Let me fix you a sandwich.
No, thank you. I never eat now. It is very kind of you. Huh. You are much nicer than the rest of your horrid, rude, vulgar, dishonest family.
It is you who are rude and horrid and vulgar. As for being dishonest, you who stole the paints out of my box to furbish up that ridiculous blood stain here in the library. Who ever heard of emerald green blood?
What was I to do? Blood is difficult to get nowadays. As for color, that's a matter of taste. The Cantervilles have blue blood, for instance.
The best thing for you to do is to emigrate.
Emigrate?
My father will be only too happy to give you free passage.
But isn't there a heavy duty on spirits of every kind?
True, but my father knows all of the custom officers. There are many Americans who would pay any amount of money to have a real live family ghost.
I don't think I should like America.
I suppose because we have no curiosities.
No curiosities? You have your manners.
Good evening. I will ask Papa to get the twins an extra week's holiday.
Oh, please don't go, Miss Virginia. I am so lonely, so unhappy, and I really don't know what to do. I want to go to sleep and cannot.
That is quite absurd. Sleeping isn't difficult.
I have not slept for over 300 years, and I am so tired.
Poor ghost. Have you no place where you can sleep?
Far away beyond the pine woods there is a little garden. There the grass grows long and deep. There are the great white stars of the hemlock flowers. There the nightingale sings all night, and the cold crystal moon looks down, and the yew tree spreads out its giant arms over the sleepers.
You mean the Garden of Death?
Yes, death. Death must be so beautiful. To lie in the soft brown earth and listen to silence, to have no yesterday and no tomorrow, to forget time, to forgive life, to be at peace. You can help me.
How?
You can open for me the portals of death's house, for kindness and love are with you, and they are stronger than death. Have you ever read the old prophecy on the library window?
Oh, often. I know it quite well. When a golden girl can win, prayer from out of the lips of sin, When the barren almond bears, and the little child gives away its tears, then shall all the house be still, and peace come to Canterville. But I don't know what they mean.
They mean that you must weep with me for my sins, because I have no tears, and pray with me, because I have no faith. Then perhaps the angel of death will have mercy on me.
I will ask the angel of death to have mercy on you.
Then take my hand. This wall will open, and we will disappear. I signal once. Twice. The panel slides back, and we disappear.
I'll take it. Hello? This is Mr. Otis. Oh, yes, Inspector. And news? I see. Thank you. And keep in touch with me, please. Good night. That was the local police.
Any word?
No.
There must be something you can do, Hiram.
Lucy, I don't know what to do.
Keep on looking.
But where? The servants have been and still are searching. The police have scoured the country for miles around. We've covered the house and grounds and stable. All we can do now is stay by the telephone and wait.
Where are the twins?
With Mrs. Umney looking.
One thing is certain. We know approximately when Virginia disappeared. It was around 6 o'clock. Mrs. Umney had asked her if she didn't want some tea, and Virginia said no. When Mrs. Umney returned, which was in less than half an hour, the child was nowhere to be found. You've tried the railroad station?
Yes, the police checked. She's not been there. Very mysterious, the whole affair.
I think you should have the pond dragged.
Stop talking nonsense.
I should have insisted that she go riding with us.
Everywhere. Look at the pond.
Oh, here come the boys.
Perhaps they have news. Boys, come here.
No, not a sign. We searched everywhere.
Even as the road to the village.
Oh, well, it's getting late. The pair of you better get off to bed.
Oh, Papa, we couldn't sleep.
Besides, we aren't tired and we want to wait up with you.
May as well allow them to remain, Hiram.
Very well.
Listen.
To what, Mother?
Do you hear music?
Yes.
I hear it too, Mother.
So do I.
What do you...
Quiet, shh.
Virginia!
Where have you been?
Are you all right, Virginia?
Gee, we're glad you're here.
Where have you been?
Don't scold her.
Papa, I've been with the ghost. He is dead. And you must come and see him, all of you.
Nonsense.
You must come and see him. He had been very wicked, but he was really sorry for all he had done.
Dear, you're certain you're all right? And not just imagining things?
Follow me, and you will see what I say is true. Take a light, someone, for it's dark where we are going. Dark and lonely.
Golly, it's certainly damp down here.
Jeff, hold your light up higher.
What is this place anyhow, Virginia?
A secret corridor. Here we are. Someone help me swing this door open.
Oh, here, I'll do it. Here we go. There we are.
It's a cell.
Musty smelling.
Look, over there in the corner.
Oh, now it's only a skeleton.
It's our ghost, Sir Simon.
What are you trying to tell us?
That skeleton is our ghost.
Look, he's chained to the floor.
Suppose you explain all this, daughter.
The ghost, Sir Simon, murdered his wife, the Lady Eleanor. Her brothers, upon learning of it, overpowered him. They took him here and chained him to the floor.
That plate and cup lying there? What do they signify?
They held water and food carefully placed out of his reach.
And that many died of hunger and thirst?
Yes.
What an awful way to die.
A tragedy.
He was wicked then. He asked me to see that his remains are buried in the family graveyard.
What happened to him this afternoon?
He repented.
Sounds mysterious to me.
Never again will he haunt this place.
Look, just outside of this grated window, that old withered almond tree has blossomed.
I can see the flowers quite plainly in the moonlight.
The Lord has forgiven him. Poor Sir Simon, I owe him a great deal. He made me see what life is, and what death signifies, and why love is stronger than both.
This has been the Icebox Radio Theater's production of The Canterville Ghost by Oscar Wylde. Our cast featured
Diane Adams as Mrs. Otis,
Jeffrey Adams as Mr. Otis,
Aela Nordrum as Mrs. Umney and Lady Eleanor,
Rachel Adams as Virginia,
Walker Friend as Washington,
Marco Griffith as Jefferson,
And Neil Smith as your true and only spook.
Stephen Adams as your engineer and Lord Canterville.
For more information about the Icebox Radio Theater, be sure to visit our website at www.icebox.storiesonmp3.com. Good night. It can be in the sound of the orchestra preparing, or in the sound of a sculptor working in stone, or even in the sound of laughter from inside a theater. It is the sound of art being created, and for over 3 decades, the sound of art being created has rung loud and clear in northeastern Minnesota. The Arrowhead Regional Arts Council has been encouraging local arts development in northeastern Minnesota through grants and services for over 35 years. Every year, they give out more than $500,000 to local artists and arts organizations, and that helps create $40 million in revenue and jobs created. To find out more about our arts programs or how you can get involved, visit aracouncil.org. The Arrowhead Regional Arts Council, where the arts flourish, you thrive.